Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's our topic is role of youth in Skill India. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. Skill is the unified force of experience, intellect, and passion in their operation. I am a big believer in always challenging yourself and learning new skills. Skill India, or the National Skills Development Mission of India, is a campaign launched by our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. It is managed by National Skills Development Corporation of India. Skill India campaign was launched by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15th July 2015 to train over 40 crores people in India in different skills by 2022. UK has entered into a partnership with India under Skill India program. Virtual partnerships to be initiated at the school level to enable young people of these countries to experience the school system of the other country and develop an understanding of the culture, traditions, and social and family systems. A commitment to achieve mutual recognition of UK and Indian qualifications was made. The recent systematic literature review conducted by Cabral and Dhar 2019 has the recent systematic literature review conducted by Cabral and Dhar in 2019 has identified the significance of skill development, wherein the implementation of such schemes mitigate poverty, utilize demographic dividends, socio-economic empowerment of underprivileged sectors, achieve economic growth, reduce social challenges, and economic inclusion. As far as institutional mechanism is concerned, the National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and the scheme Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana PMKVY have resulted to achieve considerable results, but not achieve the expected outcomes. The study argues the essential requirement of the skill development to achieve technology adoption and women empowerment in the country. Oracle on 12th February 2016 announced that it will build a new 2.8 million square feet campus in Bengaluru, will be Oracle's largest outside of its headquarters in Redwood Shores, California. Oracle Academy announced to launch an initiative to train more than 500,000 students each year to develop computer science skills by expanding its partnerships to 2,700 institutions in India from 1,800 at present. Japan's private sector declared to set up 6 institutes of manufacturing to train people in Japanese-style manufacturing skills and practices, primarily in rural areas. Japan-India Institute of Manufacturing, JIM, and Japanese endowed courses, JEC, in engineering colleges designated by Japanese companies in India in cooperation with the public and private sectors to be established for this purpose. In the budget of fiscal year 2017-18, the government of India has decided to set aside rupees 17,000 crore, the highest ever allocation to this sector in order to boost the Skill India mission. At least 10 million Indian youth enter the country's workforce each year, but the employment creation in India has not been able to absorb this influx, making increasing unemployment a severe problem. Though this allocation, the government aims at generating employment and providing livelihood to the millions of young Indians who enter the workforce every year. The government has invested rupees 4,000 crores in the launch of Sankalp, Skill Acquisition and Knowledge Awareness for Livelihood Promotion Program, another big initiative under the Skill India mission. Though this is aims at providing market-relevant training to 350 million young Indians. Apart from this, the government would set up 100 India International Skill Centers that will conduct advanced courses in foreign languages to help youngsters prepare for overseas jobs. It provides opportunities to the youth of India. Union Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman announced the allocation of rupees 3,000 crores for the Skill India Develop Program during her Budget 2020 speech. With the rupees 12,000 crores funding from the government, Prime Minister Modi's favorite skill development program has turned into a disaster. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana PMKVY trained 41.3 lakhs persons in first 3 years. Only 6.15 lakh of them have got jobs. The current data shows and suggests that only 2.3% of the workforce in India has undergone formal skill training as compared to 68% in UK, 75% in Germany, 52% in USA, 80% in Japan, and 96% in South Korea. The objective of this much publicized program is to provide industry relevant skill training that will help them in securing a better livelihood. And to discuss today's very, very important topic, the role of youth in Skill India, we have 7 youths and we have our chief guest. And I would like to invite and introduce our chief guest of today's program, and he is Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty. Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, MS Ortho, FICS, Ortho, FIAMS, FRCS. He is the Masters of Surgery, Orthopedics, Fellow of Royal College of Surgeons, England, Fellow of American College of Surgeons, Fellow of International College of Surgeons. He is a compassionate doctor and a wonderful human being. Healing touch had made him one of the most respected orthopedic surgeons in India. He is an internationally recognized professional and accomplished academician. He is the Pro-Chancellor, Nitte University. Being Pro-Chancellor, Professor Dr. Shantaram Shetty had set an example about how cordial and reputed an administrator should be. He is the chairman, Tejaswini Hospital Group. He is the chairman of Shantaram Shetty Institute of Orthopedics and Traumatology, SSIOT, Mangalore. He is the past president of Indian Orthopedic Association. Dr. Shantaram Shetty joined as a professor and became the head of the orthopedics department and went on to become the director of postgraduate studies at Kasturba Medical College, KMC, Mangalore. He is a visiting professor at various universities in the USA, UK, Germany, and India. He has trained more than 380 postgraduate students in orthopedics, both MS Ortho, DORTH, and DNB candidates, apart from regular undergraduates who are in different parts of the world and India, serving as orthopedic consultants and teachers. He has presented more than 282 scientific papers in international, national, and state conferences with 89 publications. He was awarded the Best Paper Award 4 times and authored 2 books and wrote chapters in 2. He delivered 160 CME lectures all around the country and abroad, including 27 named orations at international, national, and state level. He is the postgraduate examiner to various Indian universities and the international SICOT examiner in orthopedics for the last 7 examinations held in different parts of the world, and national board examiner and inspector, National Board and Medical Council of India. He is past president, Karnataka Orthopedic Association in 1985, past president, Canara Orthopedic Association since 1990 to 2003, conducted many national CMEs and workshops. He is the project director of Lions Artificial Limb Center, which has provided 80,000 artificial appliances till now to the physically handicapped. This center is recognized by Artificial Limb Manufacturing Corporation of India, state government, and railways. He was the Lions Governor, District 324D, 1995-96, and during his tenure, project worth rupees 3 crores were completed. He was the president of Orthopedics Association of South Indian Surgeons, comprising of 5 southern states from 2003 to 2004, and conducted workshops and CMEs. He was the All India President of Indian Orthopedic Association in 2009. The theme for that year was Disability Free India, and all the states of the country worked for this theme. He was the chairman of World Bunds Foundation. He was the AO trustee Switzerland nominee from India 2005 to 2010. He has conducted 22 trauma courses in different parts of the country since then. He was the chairman of AO Trauma India, the first chairman to be nominated by AO Foundation, Switzerland. He was honored with several awards and fellowships, which includes Karnataka Rajyotsav Award of Meritorious Services in the Field of Medicine in 1991, AO Fellowship to Germany 1983, ADO Fellowships to Netherlands and UK in 1996, uh, Ranawat Fellowship 1989, USA, International Lions President Award for Work for Physically Handicapped from 1985 to 1996, Indian Medical Association Award for Meritorious Service 1999, awarded for the honorary fellowship by Indian Orthopedic Association in 2013. Professor Dr. Shantaram Shetty is highly respected in the society. He is very soft spoken, always smiling, humble, caring people, and with lots of compassion. He is a doctor with lots of patience. Dr. Shetty has made a mark as a teacher, educationalist, administrator, and a surgeon. Welcome, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty on our show. Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, you have so many works you have done for the society, and you are the helm of a very, very respected, prestigious university. And your record shows, rather, I have to cut short so many things, otherwise, my full program would have gone talking about you. And such a respected personality. And we are really today very much obliged that you have accepted our invitation to be the chief guest and to give your knowledge, some few drops of your knowledge to the youths who are attending here with us, as well as all the viewers who are watching our show globally all over the world. So, role of youth in Skill India, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Lal Goel. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for conducting this programs almost every week. I don't know, your tenacity of purpose is so, you have conducted on almost every aspect of human awareness and human life. And today we are discussing skill, youth and skill, its importance in our country. And thank you for collecting all those 7 youngsters to join us. And we will have a good discussion this morning as to what all of us can do together to propel ahead our great country as a Skill India of tomorrow. And thank you very much for this great opportunity. Today's theme, as was rightly discussed in detail by Dr. Goel, is youth and skill in India, and where are we and where we should be, in short. And what is the definition of youth? Youth, by United Nations organization, are those people who are between 15 to 24 years of age. 15 to 24 years of age, with a little, many of you may be little one or 2 years ahead, but you are still called youth. That is the definition of youth. You may be surprised to know, in the United States, 25% of their population belong to this particular age. And in India, 33% of the population belong to this particular age group. It is a great number. Imagine 33% in India is about 350 million people. And it is the largest force, and many of the countries do not have this population. So we have the strength of 350 to 360 million people There were a million youth with us belonging to this particular age group. To take the definition of Pew Research from United States, they divided the whole age, gender, and the gender into different age groups, and they divided into 6 groups, namely the pre-independent or the pre-independent in India, pre-World War era, which is called, which they were called the traditionalists. They are very about only about 8% of the people live all over the country, all over the world today, and I belong to that particular age group who is born below 19 before 1947. And then came the baby boomers, that is between 1945 to 1960. And Dr. Goel and all perhaps belong to that particular age group, and they were the people who really drew the whole world into because they were achievers. They did whatever they want, unlike traditionals like us. We were calm and quiet and we did their work. And these were the baby boomers who propelled the generations of people ahead. Then after 1961 came the XYZ generations, the pre-millennials, and they were from 1961 to 1975, 75 to 1990 and 2000, and then the millennials. Many of you may be millennials born after the millennium 2000 or just before, but many of you belong to the youth as such, belong to the Z group. It is this Z group which can make a difference in the world today. And coming to the definition of skill, Dr. Goel in detail defined you what is skill, and what Government of India and the government agencies have done till now for our own country. To me, skill is to do something better. You are a particular person. You may be a carpenter, you may be a surgeon, you may be a physician, but with skill you do much better than a particular person. That is the difference. So when knowledge comes by your books, or knowledge comes by understanding a particular subject, even a farmer has a knowledge of how he nourishes his field, how he how he nourishes his field, how he grows his agriculture products. The surgeon gets into skill by the knowledge which he has, but skill is entirely different from knowledge. So knowledge has to be converted into skill by the understanding of the particular subject, and by experience, and by the teaching methodology. Dr. Goel gave different examples of how Government of India has spent so much of money on different projects to train more than nearly 40 crores of people. It is their vision to see that they are skill oriented. But what is important is to convert not only skill into wisdom. Wisdom comes by experience. See, I have been a surgeon for the last 50 years. I might have been skillful, but today when I operate, it is by wisdom that I operate rather than by skill, because wisdom is different from skill. That has to be differentiated. That has to be differentiated. The skill has to be differentiated from knowledge. Knowledge has to be differentiated from wisdom. So that is what is important in life. So why I said these 350 or 360 million people in our country is important is, it is extremely important that this youth of our country are satisfied and are happy. If they are not satisfied, if they are not happy, then all these agitations, unwanted things which we see in our country will arise. Even the farmers' agitation or any agitation, even the bus agitation, all these were propelled because of not being happy. Happiness comes with contentment. Happiness, happiness of a particular person comes with proper living, proper understanding of the situation, and perhaps even with basic education. Well, let us come to the education proper in our country. You may be surprised to know, even today, I was rather surprised that taking the whole of India as a whole, only 77% are literate, which is a mind-boggling the bad number. Whereas in Kerala, it is almost 99%. Whereas in some of the states, it is 55%. This should not happen. Not that literates will make a difference, but at least they must be made to understand the daily life. They must be able to understand what is coming in the TV. They must be able to understand what is coming in the newspaper. They must be able to understand a lecture like yours, or an understanding person to give them a lecture on a particular subject to understand what is skill orientation. And and the rest out of the 23%, you may be surprised again, only about 12% are graduates and only about 7 to 8% are postgraduates. So this is a large lacuna which you are having. So it is very important that these 77% of the people should be made skill oriented. What is skill, as I told you, is to make a particular thing much better. You may be anything. You may be a surgeon, a physician, you may be a carpenter, as I told you. But if you do a particular carpentry much better than another person, that is skill. That is the orientation which we'll have to take in. Now coming to our own country, where you must understand, dear youngsters who are with us, we were the richest country in the world just 650 years ago. Just 650 years ago. And today, economically, we may be the fifth largest economy in the world, as was noted. But in the ranking of the financial aspect, we are 112. We are 112. And in corruption, we are from the bottom 12. We are 12 in the corruption rate. And only countries which are behind us, which are above is in the corruption, are countries like some of the African countries. I do not name them, and some of the Afro-Asian countries. This should not happen. We are an independent country for the last 75 years. And what we have achieved a lot. We have achieved a lot. After the Bengal famine, where 2 million people died of starvation, we are self-sufficient in food. We are self-sufficient in food. Not only that, we are exporting. We are the largest rice-producing country. We are the largest wheat-producing country. We have 952 universities in our country. We have 542 medical colleges in our country. 3,500 engineering colleges in our country. But when you come to skill development, I was sorry to note there are only 2,500 polytechnics in our country compared to engineering college. There are only 15,000 ITIs in our country with the industrial training centers, which should have been developed much more in the last 75 years. These are the lacunae which will have to look into. And what is important is to convert what is skill. After all, if you make a car, when we go to the market today, you will bet the best of the surgeons, best of the engineers, best of the educators. We have sufficiently well-educated people in every field. But what we like, if you want a good plumber, if you want a good electrician, if you want to find a good carpenter, if you want to find even a good technical person who can repair your computer immediately, or even your cell phone, you will have to write it down. What is it? Skill development is not to just develop in one field. It is a para comprehensive field, where every field which should. Dr. Goel gave us the data. In United Kingdom, 75% are skill developed. United States, more than 50%, as they said, are skill developed. Whereas in our country, skill development is in a very low level. So what is important is to develop skill and convert this skill into real wisdom. So Dr. Goel again gave us the statistical data on different schemes of the Prime Minister, like Kaushal, like Vikas, like Sankalp, like Udan, and they have all come into effect. But I was sorry to hear from Dr. Goel that not even 5 or 10% of the people have got jobs. And it is here that the private enterprise has to get in. I still remember the past president of the World Bank, when he visited our country, said, "What are you doing? What are you doing in our country? A government has no business to run banks. Government has no business to run hotels. Government has no business to run transport services. Government has no business to run private enterprises which can effectively being run by the private enterprises. You should give it to the private enterprises and collect taxes. That should be our theme. What is the fun? We lose in Air India's the crores of rupees. We lose in KSRT crores and crores of rupees. We lose in every government enterprise which you take into consideration crores and still multiply it every year. That should not happen. Even in skill development, we should take the private enterprise into consideration. Give it to Tatas, give it to Billas, give it to any enterprise, any private enterprise. They will develop in such a way that they will produce skill developed people in every field. Give it to private the universities to skill develop even doctors, engineers, and other enterprises in their particular skills. They will do a better job than spending so much of money of the government on its own, which can be spent on infrastructure development of this particular country. So gentlemen, with this little theme, I always feel in this difficult time of COVID, you youth have a very great responsibility. And if you can just tell everyone whom you meet to see that they wear the mask properly, wash their hands, and see that they do not attend. I see yesterday I saw a function. I saw a function about 500 people. I just came away from the gate because it is not worth entering that particular function. That should be your attitude. That youth should rise and see that what is right for your country and for yourself and for the future of this country is done. You are the future of our country, and it is in your hands. And do it. And I am sure you will do it.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shetty, for giving such a inspirational and motivational thoughts. And Dr. Shetty has given all the details about what is skill. And he said that the sorry state of the country is there because people are not trained. And he wants that the involvement of the youth is very important. And he has given that even the definition of youth, the age limit, etc. But what he says is the role of youth is very important. If they will not be skilled, then the conditions, the quality will go down. And he has mentioned how the Air India and all those things where the government is running the business, that has to be done professionally with the skilled people. And in the end, he has also appealed to all the youth to see to it that today's COVID time, they must wear the mask. If anybody is not wearing, they must tell them to wear the mask, social distancing. And he said that yesterday he has gone to a function. He came out because there are 500 people or more were there in the function. That should be the attitude of the youth. Whether you are in a election-bound state, whether you are in a Kumbh city or you are in a city where the Holi is celebrated or any other festival or Eid is going to be celebrated, whatsoever religion celebrations, please see to it the life is more important. And that's what the message of our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, and the role of youth is very, very important. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Shetty, for giving such a energetic and I will again say the word, use the motivational and inspirational thoughts of you. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite my youth guest. I would like to invite my first youth guest, and he is Mr. Anand K Nambiar. Mr. Anand K Nambiar, are you there? Yes, please unmute yourself.
Yes,
Mr.
sir. Very good morning.
Yeah, good. Mr. Nambiar, you have heard our chief guest, Professor Dr. Shantaram Shetty. Now, we would like to know your views, role of youth in Skill India. First, you introduce yourself, and then you can talk on that.
So, very good morning to everybody. Good morning to Shantaram sir and Goel sir and everybody who's present in this meeting. Myself, Anand Krishnan S. Nambiar. But before I start, I would thank Shantaram Shetty sir, and I'm also proud to tell that I was associated with NITTE because I completed my MBA from NITTE University, NITTE, and currently I'm doing my research. That is, I'm a research scholar at NITK Surathkal in the Department of Management. I'm currently pursuing my PhD there. So coming to today's topic, so the topic that has been given, a role of youth in Skill India. So whatever is the point, or whatever the main point that was to be emphasized, has been touched upon rightly by Shantaram Shetty sir and Goel sir, that one of the root cause for we being not skilled enough is basically, I feel, the corruption that is there, and the not any enough and adequate funds that is reaching us. So I would like to start off with the personal experience of mine. So we, especially in the research field, feel that adequate funds is not available for us. So if you have to come up with anything, or if you have to come up with some research, the fund, just look at when you compare with other developed countries in the world, the amount of fund that is provided to the youth to do research, especially because I'm doing my research, the fund that is given to us is very meager, and that is not enough for quality research to be developed in the country. Only if there is quality research fund is provided, there will be quality research in the country. And if only if there is quality research, there will be upskilling of youth, and that will take place. So that is one of the concerns. So coming right back into the topic, yes, the role of youth in Skill India is very important, because the population of several of the world's leading economies is aging. India remains young and poised for growth. Our youth will propel growth not only in India but also in the world for the next 3 decades. This is truly Indians' golden sunrise, powered by skills, leadership to economic growth, and global leadership. So various initiatives and programs, together with best practices in the skill development space, can be scaled up and replicated across states to achieve the desired objective of making youth the change agent. The Skill India mission has various advantages, like with appropriate skill development, the young people of India can get to better quality of living and get better job opportunities. That is one of the main problems that I feel. Because of lack of skills, we do not have ample job opportunities that is not available to us. We know we are a large population with 130 or crore population, but the job opportunity is mainly lacking because of lack of skills. And this lack of skills is maybe because of adequate opportunities that is not available to us. So basically, a model has to be implemented that provides skill training to the youth, and then ensure they are placed in jobs in industries, and provided with business management consulting support to become viable. The unemployment situation can be tackled by providing skill development training at a much faster rate than is happening in the last few years. So India's youth is still facing the problem of unemployment and lack of proper skills. So the youth need to have the ability and the courage to have the questions, assess, evaluate issues, arrive at the most peaceful and optimal solutions. So the main thing that would be focused upon is giving skills and adequate skills in the country, adequate facilities for doing skills. So the government has to definitely intervene, provide more funds for skill development, and this will ensure development in better employable skills. And as like Shantaram Shetty said, once all these provided, all these facilities and education is provided, the country will develop to a much more corruption less country. The corruption is one of the major problems. Even what Dr. Abdul Kalam, the late Abdul Kalam, the former president of India, had said is one of the main problems. So he always believed that youth can be a change agent for eradicating the corruption from the country. So by eradicating this corruption can be done by upskilling of the youth, and the upskilling of this youth can be done by giving more opportunities and more facilities to the youth. So thank you so much for giving the opportunities, Goel sir and Shantaram Shetty sir. It was a pleasure meeting you and all others in the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anand Krishna Nambiar, for giving your views. And you have mentioned that the corruption and the government is doing less. I understand, yes, this is a main factor, but there is something which youth can do. Just as our chief guest has mentioned about the US, and I also mentioned in my report that how many skill trainings are there. Because there the concept in the family is that once a child becomes 12 or 13 years, he used to start working somewhere. And that is the training, initial training of that child. And that's why if you see, after 18 years, they are starting their startups. And so many startups are coming in USA, not in India. India's startups are coming, they are failing. But there the startups are successful. You can see anything, whether it was Facebook or anything. So all these things, because the youth is taking lead from the very beginning. And there they are training themselves. Government is not doing anything. They are working in a petrol pump, in a restaurant, wherever. But the problem in India is a social problem. Here, the society never accept this thing that a child of a so and so person is working at a petrol pump or in a restaurant in a spare time, in a part time. But there it is, they are doing, and that's why their practical training they themselves are gaining, which is lacking here. But yes, your point is very correct. The corruption is one of the main factor, and until as the corruption will not go, the youth cannot develop. And as you rightly said about the research, I can only say one thing, that the study says that the publication trends have shown that India's share in the world research output hovers around 5%. But the rate of citations and the number of times these articles are cited and used as proxy for quality is much lower at 2 to 3%. So one can imagine what is the reason that 50% of our research is either copy paste or fake. As you have mentioned, the corruption is in research also. So the youth has to see that they will not do any copy paste thing. They should do the genuine research, even within a limited resources. Thank you very much, Mr. Anand K Nambiar, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Benita Tony. Miss Tony, please unmute yourself. Miss Tony, you have heard our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, as well as earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in Skill India. Miss Venita Tony, please.
Namaste all, I am Benita Tony. I am a student of Kulapati Munshiban Sudhya Mandar, Trishur, Kerala. And today I would like to convey my views on the topic role of youth in Skill India. First of all, I would like to talk about the 21st century skills. The 21st century skills comprises the skills, abilities, and learning dispositions that have been identified as being required for success in 21st century society and workplaces by educators, business leaders, academics, and governmental agencies. This is a part of growing international movement focusing on the skills required for students to master in preparations for success in such a rapidly changing digital society. And many of these skills are also associated with deeper learning, which is based on mastering skills such as analytic reasoning, complex problem solving, and teamwork. These skills differ from traditional academic skills in that they are not primarily content based, content knowledge based. And life skill is one of the 21st century skills that is very essential to meet the challenges of everyday life in a constantly changing environment. The dramatic changes in the global economies over the past few years have been matched with the transformation in technology, and they are all impacting on education, the workplace, and our home life. New life skills such as ability to deal with stress and frustration are needed to cope with the increasing pace and change of modern life. So today's students will have many new jobs over the course of their lives with associated pressures and need for flexibility. So life skills are very important for them. Next one is social thinking. Social thinking refers to a process we all go through in our minds as we try to make sense of our own and others' thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Whether we are coexisting, actively interacting, or figuring out what is happening from a distance. Our ability to think socially is a part of social emotional learning, and it begins at birth and evolves across a lifetime. Next important 21st century skill is teamwork. Teamwork is generally understood as the willingness of a group of people to work together to achieve a common aim, and collaboration within a group can help solve difficult problems, and brainstorming is a good opportunity for a team to exchange their ideas and come up with creative ways of doing things. So by working together, teams can find solutions that will work best. And next one is computer skills. Computer and computer devices have grown to hold key roles in schools, workplaces, and homes. So many students acquire basic computer skills in high school itself, so that they know how to operate a computer. In addition, students learn skills such as sending emails, conducting internet research, creating word and processing documents, and creating presentation. So these basic computer skills will help the students to achieve success in college when they are utilized for processing and presenting information. Next important 21st century skill is that academic skills. Academic skills, as we all know, is a collection of study habits, learning strategies, and time management tools that will help the students to learn and absorb the lessons. So, for most of the students, learning is about much more than access to information. Teachers also often include academic skills in their lessons in order to um, make the students really master in certain concepts. So these skills are not only will not only benefit the students when it comes time to take test, but also it will help them in the future. And social and emotional skills are also important. They include the knowledge, attitude, and skills which are necessary for the youth to recognize and control their emotions and behavior, establish and maintain emotions, positive relationships, make responsible decisions, and solve challenging situations. So this social economic skills also is also linked to academic, career, and life success. Promoting these skills in young people has become a priority of both school and after school settings. So I would like to conclude my words with a famous quote of Albert Einstein: "Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death." Our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and famous scientist C.V. Raman are perfect examples for this. So let's try to follow the words of Albert Einstein and succeed in our life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tony, for giving your views. And what Ms. Tony has mentioned one very important point, and that is a socio-economic skill, that the person should have the socio-economic skill to be taught, where the temperament, how to control your emotions, and so that your interpersonal relationships with your colleagues, which will definitely be beneficial to improve your other skills whatsoever you have, and it will give a long way to. Very nice, Ms. Tony, for giving this point, because this is something which people are not understanding. This is also very big skill: how to control your anger, how to control your emotions, how to express yourself when you are working in a team, because all the works, when you are working in an organization, it's teamwork is required, and that skill is very important, how to keep cordial relations with each and everyone. Thank you very much, Ms. Tony, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Manoj Joshi. Mr. Manoj Joshi, you have heard our chief guest, Professor Dr. Shantaram Shetty. You have heard the earlier youth guest. Now we would like to know from you your views, role of youth in Skill India. Mr. Manoj Joshi, please.
Good morning, sir. This is Manoj Joshi, and thank you so much to inviting me here and for giving my views on the role of youth in Skill India. So I heard.
First of all, you introduce yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Manoj Joshi. I'm the founder of IT Solution and Services, New Delhi, and I'm providing website designing, digital marketing services to small, medium businesses and individuals. Along with that, I am also involved in skill programs like digital skills and computer skills and all. That are the program related to that are happening in our institute called Academy of Computer Education. So actually, I am very much involved in Skill India program, not directly with the government projects, but I am working on ground level. So I have so much of information related to that. As per my knowledge and experience I have. So India is a huge country. If we talk about the population, in terms of population, we are a huge country, and the best part is we have 33% of youth in India. And already Sethi sir and all the prior guests spoken about that, this is a best thing which we can utilize, and uh, by the use of this, we have a power to serve the whole world with this manpower, with this quantity of manpower. But where we are lacking is, we are not lacking like we have a literacy rate of around 70 to 80%, and which is good if we talk about this about the huge country. But we are lacking at the level of skills. We are all only able to provide the skills to 20 to 25% people. Many research shown that only 20 to 25 percent people are employable. And why it is happening? That is the main issue, why it is happening. Actually, if we talk about our education system, they are so old, and they are so much focused on memorizing the things, like when this particular thing happen, on which date this particular thing happen, who invented this particular thing. They are not so much practical. They are not teaching people how we invent things, and how we can manage our money, how we can live a more prosper life, and so much the things which are more important to live a happy life. So uh, 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 what is the use role about this? What we people can do about this is, suppose I have a skill, like I am good at digital marketing and computer knowledge, and some kind of skills. So what I can do myself is, I can reskill people, means I can provide this skill to the people who are engaged with me, who are connected with me, and I can exchange my skill with them. Suppose someone other has a good financial skill, and he have a good time management skill, he have a good mindset. So I can exchange my skill, I can teach them those computer literacy, and I can exchange my skill with them. So next thing is, that is upskill. Suppose today I have some skill and I am good at that, and I am doing that good. But the truth is that we have to upscale ourselves also, because after some time, this era will be an old era for that time. So, and the thing new things will come in the new era, and we will have to learn those skills also. If we I talk about, like many years ago, if you have passed fifth standard, you can you could good get a government job. But today that is not a truth. And after sometimes, if you have 10th or 12th level of qualification, you could get a government job. But today is not that, that is not a truth. So why it is happening? Because everything is changing, and new things and new technology is taking over. So what we have to do is, we have to upskill ourselves. So next thing is, then why if we are educating people, if we are able to improve our literacy rate, then why we are not able to increase the skill rate? So that is because we are not generating that awareness in youth. We are not able to tell them or think about like why they should have the skills, not only the degree or that particular certificate. So we need to work on the ground level to create that awareness among the people, means the students and their parents, and then their children. If we talk about urban area, then the skill rate can be better, because they have good institute, private institute, government institute nearby them. But if we talk about the rural area, where the people only have they have so much of time, but they are not able to invest that time to generate the skills. They are doing those old stuff, they are learning those old stuff, they are learning those old syllabus. So that is the next thing. What government do what government can do in the skill India? The government can promote the startups, because the people, the young people in India also are going to develop startup ideas, and they are working on them. And the people, small medium businesses are the biggest, largest companies who are providing employment in India. So what we can do with them is, we can collaborate with them, like if you have 100% of employee in your company, then the 30% or 40% people should be interns, so that they can directly learn from the industry experts. So it should be a rule for the private industries to hire the interns, and the particular percentage of interns should be in your company, and that can be recorded in a government system. This is the next thing. And one more thing is there, that the Goel sir said that in US, the students from the age of 13th or 14th, they start working on their ideas, or they start working somewhere to get some experience. So we need to develop that kind of environment in India. And here what we do is we conserve our child very much. We conserve, like if he or she go out, then what will happen, with what kind of people he will engage, and what will be the environment. We are very conservative about our child, and which ruins the child's life further in future, because at the age of 25 or 26 he is not able to identify where he has to go, what is his goal, and what kind of career he must go further for. So these are the things we have. For this, we need to consult with the parents also. We need to tell them, like if a person, a student or a child is working at the age of 13th, 14th or 15th, and that is not a bad thing. It is helping him to get some skills, and that is most important. So next thing is the entrepreneurship behavior, which is lacking in our country. Everyone is looking for a job where he should not do any job, means not do any work. He is seeking for a job where his future is समथिंग लाइक कि भाई अब मेरे को कोई दिक्कत की जरूरत नहीं है, सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, एंड इट इज fully secured, and I have to do very less work here, and I am the people feel good for this thing. So we have to change this mindset also. We need to encourage people to do hard work wherever they are working. They should work for their own growth as well as for the country or the place or the company for whom they are working for. And we should also encourage people for the self-reliant, because no government is going to take your responsibility. They tell us so much of things, but end of the day, you are the person who can make your future bright, and who is the person who is taking all the decision for yourself. If government is saying you so many things, maybe some of them can happen, but there is no full guarantee. But if you are the one who is saying something to yourself, then it can be 90% sure, like this thing can happen for you, because you are making the decision and you are the person who can work for that particular thing. So we need to be self-reliant, and we have to think about our future. If government is not able to provide jobs, then we have to create jobs for ourselves as well as for other people also. And the most important thing is we have so much resources to gather information, but now what people are doing is they are thinking like the information is the only skill, but that is not. Mr. Sethi sir said very well, like the skill is the utilizing the information and knowledge to do something productive, and that is the important thing. If you know how to make a tea, you have a recipe, until unless you are not able to make a good tea, you are not skillful. So you have to work hard, you have to repeat the work, you have to implement the things again and again to become skillful. So we need that kind of awareness, like memorizing the things and memorizing the knowledge and getting the degree or certificate is not enough. We have to we have the guts or courage to implement that particular thing to get some output, for to make our future bright for our for our family's future, because if we will do better, then our family will get a prosper life, and the society will get better like this only. Because if we make every home prosperous one by one, then the country will be prosperous automatically. So this is all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manoj Joshi, for giving your views. And you have used one word, upscaling. Yes, until unless you will not upgrade your skills now and then. And you might have, when I was reading the profile of our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, you might have heard that he has presented more than 282 scientific papers in international and national and state conferences. Now, once you are presenting the paper, a scientific paper, you have to study. You have to upgrade. After all, you are going to all those, because he's a doctor, so he's going to address all the doctors present internationally, all the top doctors, those even the fresh doctors. So you have to be, he might have done the 50 years back his education, but he has to be updated as of today. So that is very important. And for any skilled person, if you have any skill, until unless you will not upgrade, like when we started the mobile, using mobile phone, what type of mobile we have used, and now what type of mobile we are using. Now this is again upgradation. And during the COVID, I can tell you, I was not knowing how to even switch on the laptop till my age of 66. Last year only, I know, because when I started doing this media conference on 22nd of March, I started the first time I pressed the button how to switch on a laptop. And now I'm doing for every day for last more than 13 months. Now, this is only possible if we all decide, whatsoever field you are, if you decide that I have to upgrade, please study, please read, and then only your skills can be developed like anything. Thank you very much, Mr. Manoj Joshi, for giving such a elaborate thoughts about the role of youth in Skill India. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Monica Khanwani. Miss Monica, please unmute yourself. Miss Monica, you have heard our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty. You have heard earlier youth guests. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in Skill India. Miss Monica Khanwani, please.
Very good morning, everyone. I am Monica Khanwani from Beawar, Rajasthan. I am pursuing my MBA from International School of Informatics and Management, Jaipur. Before starting, I would like to thank Dr. Mohan Agarwal sir and Mr. Lal Goel sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be a part of this media conference. Also, I would like to thank Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty for giving their valuable inputs on our today's topic, that is role of youth in skill India. As we know that Skill India campaign was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15 July 2015 on the occasion of World Youth Skills Day of Skill India to create convergence across sectors and states in terms of skill training activities. It is managed by the National Skill Development Corporation of India. Under this campaign, various initiatives are taken like National Skill Development Mission, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Skill Loan Scheme, Rural India Skill. The major role of youth is to make India the skill capital of the world. As expected, to realize the demographic dividend in coming years, India has the potential to become the human resource capital of the world, just like China has become the manufacturing capital of the world. The positive demography makes the Skill India mission very important for the overall economic growth of the country. For instance, the average age of the Indian population is expected to be 29 years, younger than China and US at 37 years, and Western Europe at 45 years. Basically, the Skill India mission is expected to be the backbone of the government initiatives like Digital India, Smart Cities, and Make in India. In fact, as the mission is not limited to skill, but also includes entrepreneurship, it is expected to play a critical role in further development of the booming ecosystem for first generation entrepreneurs in the country. Next point is that youth can train themselves in those trainings which are relevant to the industry needs. But our workforce readiness is one of the lowest in the world, and a large chunk of existing training infrastructure is irrelevant to industry needs. So, we as a youth need to learn different skills which are required in industry by which we are able to share our contribution in development of our country as well as development of us. Also, youth from India's less privileged sections will get confidence by acquiring these skills from these initiatives and would contribute in upliftment of their sections in the future. According to reports, there will be shortage of 55 million workforce in the world by 2022, whereas India will have a surplus of 47 million workforce. So, we need to create a standard of training and make it transnational so that the trained worker can be absorbed world over, otherwise the demographic dividend will become a challenge. As I take my example, I am seeing the lockdown as an opportunity and I joined online internship to take out best of it. Maybe in internship you won't get paid, but you're definitely going to learn something new and also enhance your capability and confidence during the period of internship. Nowadays, government supporting startups a lot. So you should take advantage of that. They need to take one step ahead for this and they also help others in providing employment opportunities to them. Now, I want to conclude that you need to take initiatives to make India the skill capital of the world. You need to be tech savvy and would indulge themselves in learning new skills which will help in better career opportunity. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you very much, Ms. Monica Khanwani, for giving your views. And you rightly said that the youth should have skills, and not only one, but many skills, so that they can develop. Once they are working in an organization, they can be useful. But you have mentioned one point about the employability, and you said that so much youth unemployment is there, while so much demand in the workforce is there. See, there were in one of the earlier media conference, one of the guests told us that the total employability out of 100 youth is only 20%. And out of 20%, after 1 year, only 3 to 5% remains in that industry. So one can very well imagine what is the condition. The reason is very simple. The youth wants to be overnight top businessman, top industrialist, top doctor, top lawyer. He forgets one thing, that everyone started from scratch. I'm sure our chief guest is sitting here. When he started, how much hard work a doctor has to do. 48 hours, sometimes even more than 48 hours, they were working in there during their internship. It's not easy. Nowadays, people say, oh, we are tired, 8 hours, too much. Now that has to be changed. Similarly, in many, many fields. So until unless the youth will not take this lead, if they will not dedicate their more time, if they will not become, they will not think that, yes, we have to reach. Even you see the example of Mr. Ratan Tata. Everybody talks, oh, Mr. Ratan Tata is so big, and how he became big. When he came after doing his all qualification, he started from the floor shop. He was working and he was doing the lowest work in his own organizations of Tatas. And then he learned each and everything. And today is in the helm of the entire group. That knowledge is required. If the youth will think, I will become overnight top of the businessman, you cannot. One has to work. You can see the example. We are talking on Zoom platform. How they have started. And now anyone say, no, I want to be like that. Yes, you can become like that. There is no problem in that. But you have to start. You have to think. You have to develop your skill, all of you. Then only you can reach. After all, our brains, Indian brains are one of the best brains. All the CEOs of the big companies, multinational companies are from India. But still, entrepreneurship, why there are no Nobel Prizes coming to India? something is lacking. And that I'm sure this youth, this new generation, because I am doing every week, once or twice, the program on role of youth, and I am finding the way this youth, you people are so intelligent, so much dedicated, like you have mentioned about the opportunity, even in the COVID time. Yes, if you will see these opportunities, if the youth realize that there are opportunities where whatsoever type of opportunity to see, to help others and to educate all those who cannot be. And once we will take this mission ourselves, it is not that if you are educating others, that you are losing. No, you are gaining more. To educate anyone who is not that much privileged, you are going to get more knowledge than what you are having today. Thank you very much, Ms. Monica Khanwani, for giving your very good views. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Shibana Banu. Ms. Shibana Banu, you have heard our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, as well as earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in Skill India. Ms. Shibana Banu, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
A warm welcome and a fresh morning to everyone gathered here. I am Shibana Banu Abdul Ghani. I am pursuing my UG program in Al Azhar College, Thodupuzha, Kerala. I am glad to have this opportunity and special appreciation to Lal Goel sir and Dr. Professor M. Shantaram Shetty sir for his inspiration speech. I am happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much for such an opportunity. So let's talk about the role of youth in Skill India. Skill India, or the National Skill Development Mission of India, is a campaign launched by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15th July to train over 40 crore people in India in different skills by 2022. It is managed by National Skill Development Corporation of India. The main goal of the skill development program is to create opportunities, scope, and space for the development of the talents of the youth. Skill development leads to explanation of the skills gaps and emerging the extent skills to simplify people to compensate their goals. The modern generation require basic skills to continue with their preferred sector, but there's also a gap between the skills that already possess and the other ones which are demanded by the industries. Youth is the future, smiling at a stranger, which is itself. It's rightly said by Victor Hugo. Youth is the future of any economy. Skilled or educated youth means the evolution of India. We cannot always build a future for the youth, but we can build our youth for the future. We can help our youth in blossoming their skills to the fullest so that they can successfully keep up in their global village and present our country and hail its name. As per a report by BBC News, UN estimates have declared India as the largest democratic country, and by 2020, India is expected to become the world's youngest country with 64% of its population in the country working age group. But the democratic country particularly depends on the quality of the citizens. While the population of several countries like China, Japan is aging, India remains young and poised for growth. The growth of a economy is directly influenced by the skills of its manpower spreading lives towards India. We are having surplus manpower, but most of them are waiting to be trained and get employed. But skilling the India or youth of the India is not a piece of cake. The major problem which we are government is facing is unemployment. The present skilled manpower is not having sufficient jobs. This problem often leads to brain drains. That is, the skilled and educated manpower of the India are getting employed outside the country. They're using their knowledge for the betterment of another country. It has created a brain drain. We could end up in a society without knowledge. How can such a society make such progress? India is having a striking and consummate youth. We have a golden opportunity to transform India into a more competent and productive country. The youth of India has a strength to move the entire world with a click of a mouse. We have generated that ability. Education is one of the most powerful weapons of the world. It is the chief defense of the nation. Skill and education plays a vital role in the development of any country. India is a country of youth. Most of the youth are working age. India has a huge unemployment. If India wants to be a manufacturing hub, India must have to work on skill development instead of the traditional education system. Especially of youth of India have to aware of the skill development. Our Prime Minister takes many initiatives for rising the skills development for Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, skill awareness and knowledge awareness for livelihood, internship development program, skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement. The youth is the backbone of our country. Youth have to understand the importance of skilling, because education gives us only degree, but skilling gives us a demand and requirement for a country. There is no need to get a higher education like graduate and master to learn any skills. This program is to provide skills and training development to more than 5,000 people in 2020 that covers every rural area. Various schemes came into run this year to achieve the objective. Skill development program is important in the overall improvement of a people who is willing to do great work in their particular field. Several people got skills, but not the kind of skills that are expected by the industries. Skill development program aims to enhance their skills and develop them into skilled and trained professionals. Encouragement, motivation, practice, and training plays an essential role in this program. These are the key aspects of the enormous professional possibilities that offer skills development leadership for the students. This will assist them to with the acknowledgement of a new occasions for career. Therefore, they can plot their future according to them. Having trained with the skill development program at a very young age formulates them for development skills development at an early age. This will help students to learn new skills, and training will help them to be professional in their preferred career choice. Better training will help them to get placed in a better career. This program will help students to polish their skills such as communication, teamwork, and problem solving. While the population of several of the world's leading economies is aging, India remains youth and poised for growth. Our youth will propel growth not only in India but also in world for the next 3 decades. This is truly India's golden sunrise, powered by skills, learning to economic growth and global leadership. But to realize our democratical destiny, we had to equip and continuously upgrade the skill of our work aging population. It's only with the proper training that this could be become skills that may be used in employment, development, growth, jobs, etc. The day requires probably guide the youth towards skill building so that they can become assets for the country's future. The main emphasis is to skill the youth in such a way that they get employed. Under the schemes, training, support, and guidance would be provided for all occupations. The training provider would be along of the lines of a global level so that youth can go to work in another country. However, the scheme is facing many challenges. The major challenges is to address the needs of a vast population that demanded better skills to get employment in the market. Other challenges including the creation of an institutional mechanism for research development, quality assurance, and certification. Uh, to implement this scheme successfully, the government should emphasize the increasing the role of states and ensure gender inclusion in this scheme. We see a lot of mismatch in a skills provider. There is a mismatch between the market is looking for and what people are trained at different of which there have been issues regarding placement. Another challenge is the mindset of the people from last 100 years, hundreds of years. People are looking at professional like doctors, engineers, chartered accountants, etc.
Please
But
be
at the
brief.
present, okay, sir. But there present, there are 1,600 jobs, roles which maybe don't know, even we don't know now. For example, society may not accept a plumber if he earns 1 lakh per month during the marriage proposal. So there's a lot, still a lot of done in India, like educational programs, especially for parents where they start sending their children towards skill development. There is a need for the mindset change, whether it is in agriculture, manufacturing, or services. We need to create a respect for that particular field. Creating awareness and creating respect for skills is very important. Therefore, power of youth is induplicable. They can achieve anything and everything if they want. If they are properly guided and provided with adequate resources and opportunities, they can contribute to economic growth and help in the vision of developed India. Stay home, stay safe, stay strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shibana Banu, for giving your views. I will only add one thing. Skill is required, but you require also the honesty. Somebody used, earlier panelist has used about the corruption. Corruption in your mind, in your work. I can give you one small example. I visited one factory in Japan, Hitachi. They were manufacturing the CT scans. So I went there inside, and I saw 10 girls sitting, and they were just putting one screw somewhere. I am talking of 85, 86, and they were with a screwdriver. They are putting the screw. So I told the person who was showing me, what is this? This is a normal thing. Why you are showing me? So he told me at that time, please see to it that if one girl is just turning her hand half like this, all the girls are also turning the same. Means the screw which they are putting is the same screw with the same depth it is going inside, not more and less. While in India, I have seen the factory where they used to put through the screwdriver till it is not tightened. So this fineness is required, and that is only possible if we are skillful, we are trained properly. Thank you very much, Ms. Shibana Banu, for giving your views. Now I would like to move to my last youth guest, and she is Ms. Sujata Kumari B. Ms. Sujata Kumari B, you have heard what our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty has spoken, and what your earlier youth guests have spoken. Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in Skill India. Ms. Sujata Kumari B, please.
Thank you, Goel sir, for this wonderful opportunity. It's always my honor to be here and expressing my views in front of you and Shetty sir and all other people in the panel who are available. So my name is Sujata, and I'm currently working with one of the corporate in Bangalore. I'm also a public speaker, personality coach, and also career counselor, where I train students with regards to these topics, and through offline or online.
Yes, please go ahead.
Am I audible, sir?
No, please, no, audible but not visible. Please switch on your unless you have learned some skill for invisibility. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so I'm so sorry about that. So I'm a girl, Miss Sujata Kumari, who is confident and able to communicate in front of, able to put my words in front of you all, and educated. It's all because of my mom. Because there was a time, I belonged to a middle class family, and there was a time when we faced the issues with the financially. We started facing an issue, and my father had amount to educate one child. At that time, my mom started learning tailoring skill, and she started educating me. So today I'm here. It is all because of my mom. So that's the power of skill. So today in India, we usually underestimate the power of skill. When I was having a communication same day with my sister last week, and I was telling her the power of skills, start educating your children to learn these skills, which is very important, which I started facing when I grew up in the real world. So I started telling her about it, and she told me that, Sujata, I was not aware of all these things. We see people educating, giving a formal education, and that's what I'm doing it. I was not aware of all these things. So that shows that people are still not aware of this. And people who are also aware, they are having a partial knowledge, and that is why they start underestimate the power of skills. So every time, whenever we are going to market, so what do we see? मतलब हमें कोई product खरीदना होता है. What do we see? We see the quality of the product, and accordingly अगर quality ज़्यादा है तो हम उसका price value भी ज़्यादा बढ़ा के देते हैं, है ना? So that is how it is like we as a human are a product. and just product looking good, it will not will never exist in the market. We got to include the skills in ourselves to to increase the value of our human being. So that's why skill is very important. And there is one incident, I really don't want to scare everyone, but this incident encouraged me to learn the driving skill. How? Because one of my friend who got married, and they went for a long drive, and long drive, suddenly somehow the brake failure happened and they met with an accident. So somehow my friend survived. She had a minor injury, but her husband was battling with his life and death. And she was shouting in the road, "Help me, help me." No one were there surrounded by her to support her, to help her. No houses, no hospitals, no people on the road. And she was shouting. And she had bike in front of her. She could have saved her husband. She lost her husband, she could have saved, but she didn't know how to drive. So that is why it's important to learn these skills. If you're learning every small things is very important. That story has opened my eyes, and today I'm driving. I have learned. So that is why it is important to learn these skills. And also, most of the time, what happens is that when we were in school, basically, I personally didn't take these skills personally, seriously, because this skill was not adding marks in my mark sheet. So that was a mindset, because we were not aware of the skills. So when I started facing real world, I understood that how important it was, which I never learned. And that is why I say that learning skill is very important. Also, we sometimes complain government that government sarkar to job opportunities badha hi nahi rahe hain. What are they doing? We complain government. How much will you complain government? Government has started the skill India mission, whereas in the year 2015, start learning skills and start hiring people, because today in today's world, youths are increasing their learning skills, learning and earning also through the internet. They're booming on the internet. So learning the skills is very important. So my message to everyone today is that whoever are watching, whether you're a girl, whether you're a boy, your youth, first generation, second generation, or your parents, start learning the skills, which is very important. Formal education is important, but this skill will take you a long way, है ना? So wherever you are, you will have a better lifestyle. When you have good skill, wherever you go, you will survive. And if you are a youth and you have a skill to you possess a skill, start spreading the awareness wherever you are, and start encouraging people. Agar ho sake, if you are seeing a poor people children, educate them for free. People say that मैं अकेले क्या कर लूंगा, how दुनिया में मैं अकेले चेंजेस लाऊंगा तो how will I impact the world? बूंद बूंद से ही नदी बनता है ना? So हमें एक एक चीज, मतलब it is very important. Every 1% of your efforts will impact our country. Okay. So it's important. Let's make this place a better place and amazing place to live. Thank you, Goel sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sujata Kumari, for giving your views. Now I would like to go to our chief guest, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, who has heard you all. Now we would like him to give his concluding remarks. Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Goel. Thank you, Anand, Soni, and Shabana, and Sujata, and Monica, and Manoj. You have given your own views, and in a very comprehensive way on different aspects. So the Anand mentioned about the importance of corruption, which is a very important factor. Not that corruption is only in our country. Corruption is there in the United States, but in the United States, corruption is there in the United Kingdom. But it doesn't touch the common man. In the United States or in the corruption is at a higher level. Whereas in India, it touches the common man. You go for a driving license, you go for a ration card, you go for an ordinary office, unless there is a paper weight, that paper doesn't move from table to table. So this has to be stopped by you youths. You take a vote today that I will not, after all, for corruption, a person has to give and a person has to take. If every youth in our country, 33 billion of these, take a vote today that I won't give any money for any corruption for my work to be done, automatically life changes. Or inform the people, whether the action is taken, inform the people, inform the press, inform the media, inform the government that this person is corrupt and this government is corrupt and it should not be voted. You are the force, you are the youth force of our country for the future, and see that it is done. Rightly, Anand, we will see that is a very important point you brought in. And Sony brought in the socio-economic. It is very, 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 very important. Socio-economic and the moral caliber of the country. It's the moral caliber which drives the youth and the future of this country. Most of these politicians, most of these people are corrupt because of their greed. And if one can overcome greed in their life, one can overcome hatred, as Dr. Goel said, one can overcome hate, jealousy. And if one can practice compassion and love in their practice of life, automatically world will be a great place to live. This the youth will have to inculcate. It's the social and the moral commitment of youth to this country. And Sony brought out, Sony mentioned about it, and Shabana mentioned about the employment problem. Yes, I do not mean employment is the only media. What we should aim for the future of this country is self-employment. As I quite often quote this Chinese proverb, if you give a fish meal to a hungry person, he will eat that fish and enjoy that meal, and again in the night he will ask for that fish again. But if you can teach him how to really catch a fish and have his livelihood, you would have solved his problem for life. That is important. Self-employment. We do not depend on government to give jobs. We do not depend on job orientation. Let everyone be self-employed in their own way. If you learn a skill, a carpenter who is a good carpenter, you will find that there will be a road to his house automatically, because people will like to have the furniture made from that carpenter, or a plumber, or even an electrician. So it is the skill which the people go in search of, rather than an ordinary person. That is important. Self-employment is important. And Manoj Joshi mentioned about about education policies in our country. Yes, education policy has failed us. Education policy, we followed the British system and we failed. What was important, we forget the fact that 70% of our people in our country live in villages. 70% of our people are still, they still depend on agricultural products, agriculture living. So the skill does not mean to become a doctor like me, or an MBA, or an engineer, or an entrepreneur like you people. What is important is these people should be taught a skill to develop the country agriculturally, to better produce. Swaminathan brought his new seed for the rice and revolutionized the rice production. And if that was followed throughout the country, we would have been producing much more rice. Similarly, every product, every fruit, every seed, if it is produced scientifically and a villager is told this is how you produce better, that has to be done for our youth. And youth will have to learn how to develop this country as a whole. And Monica mentioned about human resources and skills. And yes, human resources, we have the largest force, as I told you. 34 million of people are youth. And if this force can be utilized, we can be the most thriving country in the world. But they should be skilled, they should be morally bound, they should be health-wise, they should be all right, and they should have a national love and national integration. We fight on basis of caste, we fight on basis of religion, we fight on basis of the place, whether it is Telangana or Andhra or North Karnataka or the South Karnataka. We should fight as a country, as a national love, as a national integration. That should be the aim of every youth in this country. Not to go after the white caps and the red caps and the blue caps of our politicians to be leaders. You are the leaders of the country, and you should lead. Leader does not mean a white cap person. Leader means you and me. In each one of our profession, we should lead our own profession to be a better country of ours. That is what I think what Manoj Joshi has mentioned. I mean, Monica has mentioned. Finally, Sujata mentioned about the different skills we'll have. Yes, everyone will have to learn, whether it's driving, whether it's as she rightly mentioned, tailoring. If tailoring as a skill was given to our villages long back, we would have been processing like that. She just gave an example. Like that, every skill has a motivation. Finally, the youth, my message is, though it is advice is like castor oil, it is very difficult to, very easy to prescribe, very difficult to take it in as a doctor. So, but this thing is, one should be motivated. What is important is motivation. Motivation is of three different types for the youth. One is fear motivation, that your teacher or your superior boss tells if you do not do it, you will be checked out tomorrow. That is fear motivation. The second is award motivation. Award motivation is if you are given a prize, you are given a hike, and if you do this particular job, then that is award motivation. That disappears once you get that award. What is important is motivation, which has to come from the heart. That I shall do this for myself. I shall do this for my people. I shall do this for my country. That is a real motivation. Youth of this country should be motivated to drive this country, our great India, to a great India of tomorrow. And we look forward to you and you alone to save this great country of ours, what it was 600 years ago, to the greatest country in the hierarchy of this world. Thank you very much, Dr. Lal, and all of you for this opportunity. It has been a great opportunity to meet the youth. I always love meeting youth because they are the future of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty. Once again, you have given very inspirational and motivational concluding remark. I am sure today's program has enlightened everyone, all those who are attending and those who are watching our show. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring you every day new topic for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow. The topic is COVID returns, impact on underprivileged education. And our panelists are Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, special educator for early childhood education and development. Dr. Janeshwar Pai Marur, he is a professor of Justice K.S. Hegde Institute of Management, Nitte, and Miss Kanchan Kishore from Bhopal. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, for joining and giving such an enlightening, inspirational, motivational thoughts of yours. And thank you all the youths for joining our program. And thank you all the viewers for watching our program. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.